We should do an episode about flat Earth theory.
I would be up for that.
Because I think there's actually some interesting stuff to say about them.
Like their psychology and things like that.
Or just like ultimately what the movement is here to do.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that it's not actually about believing that the world is flat. I think they're making some kind of weird political point. Not 100%
What do you think about
sure on that.
Didn't Kyrie Irving come
Yeah.
out this week and he was like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being a flat earther.
Well,
I don't know
it's
if he
weird.
apologized, but
He did apologize, but
Yeah.
he didn't renounce being a flat earther. He didn't say that the Earth is round. He said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It was irresponsible.
interesting.
But he didn't say that the Earth is round.
He has been one of the most fascinating flat earthers to me. I think you probably follow him more closely than me, but when I first heard that he was talking about flat Earth, I was like, what?
Right, and so you might see, I don't know, these are kind of, I've only had the beginnings of some thoughts about flat Earth, right? But that's kind of a perfect little case study for post-truth era, right?
Yeah.
The fact that something like flat Earth is able to thrive online, right? Because then you get the mixture of social media, then you get the science denialism dimension in there, right? And you get the fact that you see that people can semi-coherently deny blatant truths, right?
Yeah.
And they can give arguments for it. Which, listeners, I would recommend that you actually look into some of flat Earth theory because it's surprisingly nuanced. Like, they don't just instantly collapse under your observation. Like, oh, what about the pictures of the globe from outer space? Right? Like,
they have explanations for this stuff. Yeah.
However, though, I just want to put this out here. There's one issue that they don't have an explanation for that I've never been able to see, which is the auroras, like the aurora borealis.
Oh, sure, Northern Lights.
Yeah, the Northern Lights, the Southern Lights. I've not seen a theory of how that's supposed to work
I see.
because there's obviously such things, right? And because people have seen them from the surface. How do those work? If you actually have like a disc-shaped planet, the auroras would have to be circles, right? There'd be one in the middle, and then there'd be one on the edges, in big circle shapes. So how that works, I don't know. And
wait, you're saying this is something that the round earthers need to explain? Or
No.
This is something flat earthers.
The flat earthers would need to explain because you have the Earth is just a disc, right? Like a plate. But the northern lights,
I see
the
now.
northern lights would then be up in the center of the circle, right? In a circle shape, right? A ring in the circle, and the southern lights would be along the edge, right? A big disc around the edge. How that works, I don't know. I remember when the eclipse happened. That was a question. It's like, wait, how do flat earthers explain an eclipse? And they have models, like they have little GIFs of showing how the planets revolve.
Oh my God.
And it's fascinating to see the lengths that they go to do this.
Right.
Of course, the flat Earth theory is no doubt a conspiracy theory, or that's a dimension of it. And so the conspiracy theories are certainly relevant to a post-truth age as well, right? And so there'd be an interesting...
Yeah, they're particularly interesting because as you are showing, they still have certain standards of evidence. Like, they're not probably the best standards, and like they're probably their theories could be simpler, so they need to use Occam's razor, but they are at least trying to explain the evidence in...
Yeah, they have a standard that they simultaneously accept and reject.
Yeah.
Right, which I think is an interesting moment of the post-truth phenomenon, right? That we get ultimately to this idea that there's a deep incoherence in post-truth ideologies.
Right.
And so you get like a weird fetishization of evidence and doubt and skepticism, right? And questioning of authority, which is all good scientific stuff, right? But then it's a rejection of standards of evidence and examination, right? Because they have to retreat to these very fanciful theories, right, to explain things. And so there's the deep incoherence, which I think is actually a feature of post-truth generally, is a feature of Trump, and is a feature of fascism, right? And it's a feature of theories of post-truth, right? That there's actually going to be a deep incoherence here, which is the meta point that I've been trying to make, right? The deep incoherence means that post-truth is a questioning of whatever standards we would use in actually evaluating whether we're in a post-truth era, right? We need to recognize that post-truth, the political dimensions of post-truth, are contrary to the politics of objective standards of verification of theories. It forces us to realize that our previous ways of operating in philosophy and in science actually have a political dimension, because there can be a world in which foundational concepts like truth, coherence, actually change.